We're really pleased to have Megan O'Hanlon Murray here on the line with us, and she's from Refugees at Home. And you can find out more information from them at refugeesathome.org. And we wanted to pick your brains today to find out what it means to be a host for refugees.
I think a lot of people aren't aware of just how many refugees and asylum seekers are actually facing homelessness and do spend time homeless. One of our former guests put it to us that the difference it made to her was that when her mother called from her home country, she was able to say that she was safe and warm and with someone who cared, as opposed to having to say to her mother that, she was on the streets that night. Apart from just a roof over people's heads, hosting has really been a chance for people to turn their lives around in some cases. We're always really thrilled to celebrate with our former guests when they do go on, they get refugee status, they move into their own independent accommodation, get a job, reunite with their families. Now, this doesn't always happen, and certainly not quickly, but hosting can sometimes be a key part of that process for someone. They might really not have reached it without. So all of our guests pretty much want to be hosted in the cities. If you are in a city or outside it, and you could get into that city in an hour on public transport, we'd really encourage you to apply. So you need to be able to offer a room if you're considering long-term hosting, maybe a sofa bed or potentially a sofa if you're considering what we call emergency hosting, which is really from a night to a week. And then the third one's just willingness, really, just the willingness to welcome someone into your home. We've got people from all walks of lives. We've got hosts in all kinds of different circumstances. We have single people, we have families with small children, families with teenagers, lots of families whose children have flown the nest and left their rooms free, lots of retired people with lots of time on their hands, very busy professionals with no time. We do everything we possibly can to try to make sure that it is a safe and positive experience. We appreciate that our hosts are just volunteers opening their homes and they're not equipped to deal with those kind of complex needs. And in those cases, we will recommend another service. We do regular check-ins and placement management. So if you have a placement in your home, you'll have a named member of the placement team who will oversee the whole thing, and they will check in with you regularly and be available if you need them. We do a check on the hosts too. So we have a network of home visitors in their professional lives. They are social workers or medical professionals. We want to know from them that someone is kind of well enough supported and in an appropriate place in their lives to be able to host someone in their homes. If you think you can only commit a week for hosting, you tell us that. If you're potentially interested in longer term hosting, which could mean months, we have some hosts who have just absolutely hectically busy lifestyles and a spare room. Most hosts are surprised by the fact that it takes less time than they thought. It's really, really important that hosts don't do casework for the guests. So they are not in any way responsible for progressing their asylum claim. There's always a caseworker from an organization who's doing that for them. A lot of our hosts end up surprised that guests probably take longer to integrate into that household than they had thought, might want to keep themselves to themselves, which is very understandable given what people might have been through. And we do our best to match host and guest. So we take what we know about the host and we take what we know about the guest, and we try to bring people together who have a good chance of having a positive placement together. In terms of cost commitment though, our guests, a lot of them are literally destitute. They've got no money from the state. They're not allowed to work. We have a £30 bursary. Every host can claim that. It's weekly. That goes straight to the host, but it's to cover the costs of hosting. If you would like to support a refugee or asylum seeker, but you can't quite manage hosting at the minute, there are other things you can do. We're always very keen for any help to spread the word. So maybe if you've got friends or relatives in the big cities, or if you could support us via social media, that's a massive help. A lot of our supporters take on some fundraising activities for us sometimes. There are also other amazing organizations that you could get in touch with too, that do befriending in those kind of roles. So there's lots of ways you could help.
Yeah, we have quite a few churches within our denominations that do drop-in clubs, and they try and support in other ways. Language classes, try and help with finances and so on, and have been a great support to refugees as well. So yeah, there are lots of options out there if you just know where to look. But I think refugeesathome.org is a fantastic starting place, isn't it? To get to know what your organization is about, how people can really make a profound difference in the lives of people who are in need right now.
If you do want to get in touch, there's quite a long process between that and you welcoming your first guest. And there's lots of time and support given to helping you think your way through it. Even if you perhaps aren't sure that you can host right away, we'd still really appreciate your support and you getting in touch and letting us know that it's something you're interested in, and we can work with you from there.
That's fantastic. Okay, thank you so much, Megan. I really appreciate it.